Rockets, air taxis, hyperloops. The future of transport is pretty exciting. But before we fully extend that fist pump, we've got to upgrade more than just the vehicles.
We designed cities and by extension suburbs only around automobiles. 99% of what we did was about moving more cars faster.
There are over 1 billion cars on roads today. And to imagine a world without them, some say we have to reimagine the world itself.
It's all very simple, but it's changing people's minds. It's getting people to understand that the future is choice in the way that we live our lives, and that simply doesn't exist if we're only concentrating on designing for cars.
Let's hit the brakes for a second. Because cars are now so common, it's easy to overlook just how much they've influenced design, especially in the US. We've built places to put them, reconceived restaurants, reimagined our homes, Wait, back up. Cars didn't actually inspire much car-shaped architecture like this Austrian house. That's better. Today, over 90% of new single-family American homes are built with garages. But in 1901, they were still so new that people didn't know what to call them. Motor barn, motor den, motorium? Anyways, thanks to cheaper, more accessible cars, the confusion didn't last long. By the 1920s, garages were becoming a key part of home design. And soon, they weren't just attached to houses.
In Washington, D.C., a modern garage is built that may help solve America's parking problems.
You heard the man. These places popped up left, right, and center because cities were running out of room. Back at home, they became music studios, offices, who knows? Maybe Apple computers wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the humble garage. The point is, from houses to multi-story structures, this need to put cars somewhere transformed architecture. But when cars become smarter, if they start to fly, what'll happen to those spaces?
A lot of cities, what they're going to start to do is spend some time on, as that demand changes, how those spaces could be converted.
Experts in one of Western Canada's most populous cities are at the forefront of preparing for a future when less parking is needed. They've transformed lots into outdoor art galleries and parks, but their crowning achievement is still under construction.
It's going to be a 500-space parkade.
Why are you building more parking if demand is expected to decrease?
There's the need for parking right now, but we also put a focus on if that demand shifts and if it changes, how we could convert that space to residential or commercial uses.
In Calgary's up-and-coming East Village, the 9th Avenue Parkade will house startups, recreational areas, and those 500 parking spots. Their design will allow them to be converted into apartments, offices, or whatever, really, the neighborhood needs at the time. It sounds easy enough. Throw up a few walls, add some lights, maybe a couple hallways. But back in reality, this process involves lots of careful planning. For instance,
the ceiling heights here are actually 1.5 times larger than a typical parkade. What we're trying to do here is accommodate future utilities, be it electrical and mechanical.
These design details often mean more expense up front, which is why convertible garages aren't too popular today. But the partners here hope that by future-proofing this building, it will help the community evolve later on.
When we first think about design of parking, it's typically, you paint some lines and you go, but can we make them function better? What are the things that we can incorporate now that would be a catalyst for development in East Village and in the city?